Somewhere in the middle of Tokyo, between the electronics shops and the ramen stalls, there's a platform where you can stand and watch express trains thunder past close enough to feel the rush of air, close enough to read the destination signs. But none of those trains stop here. They haven't stopped here in over 80 years. The platform is original. The bricks are original. The station itself opened in 1912, designed by the same architect who built Tokyo Station, the most famous railway building in Japan. It was meant to be Tokyo's Grand Gateway. A statement in red brick and stone. And then, within 2.5 years of opening, it was made obsolete by the very station it inspired. Today, it sits in the middle of Akihabara, hiding in plain sight, unknown to most of the millions of people who walk past it every year. This is Manseibashi Station. Welcome back to Lost Japan, where we uncover the stories behind places that history almost forgot. Today, we're going to Manseibashi Station, in central Tokyo, a place that came within a hair's breadth of becoming the defining landmark of the Japanese rail network and instead became one of the best kept secrets in one of the busiest cities on earth. Let's start at the beginning. Manseibashi Station sits at the edge of the Kanda district, in central Tokyo, where the old merchant quarter meets the neighborhood everyone now knows as Akihabara. The Kanda River runs nearby. The area is loud and dense electronics shops, cafes, anime merchandise, the perpetual hum of a city that never quite stops. If you know where to look, you'll find it, a long red brick viaduct running alongside the Chuo Line tracks, its arches converted into restaurants and shops. From the street, it looks like any number of the old railway viaducts you find across Tokyo. Nothing announces its age. Nothing marks it as significant. But walk inside into the commercial complex now called mAAch Kanda Manseibashi, and climb the stairs at the far end. You'll emerge onto something unexpected. 2 platforms. Stone and concrete, over a century old. Open to the air. And directly beside them, just a meter away, JR Chuo Line trains rushing past at full speed. Rapid services, express services, the orange and silver of modern commuter rail, while you stand perfectly still on a platform that last saw regular passengers during the Second World War. There are no announcements. No arriving trains. No timetables. Just the wind of a passing express and, if you're standing there in the early evening, the fading light catching the red brick of the arches below. It is one of the strangest and most affecting places in Tokyo. And almost nobody goes there. To understand what Manseibashi was supposed to be, you have to understand one man, Tatsuno Kingo. Tatsuno was Japan's first architect trained in the Western tradition, a student of Josiah Condor, the British architect who helped modernize Japan's built environment during the Meiji era. Tatsuno went further than his teacher. He became the defining architectural voice of a nation that was, in the early 20th century, building itself at astonishing speed. His most famous work is Tokyo Station, the great red brick terminus that still anchors the center of Japan's rail network today. But before Tokyo Station, there was Manseibashi. Manseibashi Station opened on April 1, 1912, as the terminus of the Chuo Line, then still operating under an older designation, connecting central Tokyo with the western regions of Honshu. The red brick design was deliberate and ambitious, a building that said, in the clearest architectural language available, that Japan's capital was serious about its railways. And the station delivered. As the end of the line for western traffic into central Tokyo, Manseibashi was genuinely important. Passengers arriving from Shinjuku, Hakaiji, and the mountain passes beyond disembarked here. The area around the station, already busy with the bookshops and workshops that characterized the Kanda district, grew busier still. There was a grandeur to arriving at Manseibashi. The station sat elevated on its brick viaduct above the Kanda River, its facade visible from the street below. Stepping down onto the platform after a journey from the western suburbs, you were arriving in the capital. The architecture made sure you felt it. It was, for a brief moment, exactly what its architects had intended, a gateway. That moment lasted approximately 2.5 years. On December 20, 1914, Tokyo Station opened. Also designed by Tatsuno Kingo. Also red brick. Larger, more central, positioned at the absolute heart of the emerging national rail network. And almost immediately, the Chuo line trains that had been terminating at Manseibashi were extended right through, past Manseibashi, to Tokyo Station. Manseibashi went from being the end of the line to being just another intermediate stop. The city's center of gravity had shifted to a station 2 kilometers south, and it had shifted permanently. Passenger numbers at Manseibashi fell. The grand facade that had been built to impress arriving travelers became, progressively, beside the point. There was nothing wrong with Manseibashi, exactly. It simply found itself in the wrong place at the wrong time, outcompete not by failure but by a bigger idea. For the next 3 decades, the station continued operating but without the prominence its design had implied. It was a functional stop in a system that had outgrown it. The final blow came from an unexpected direction. During the Second World War, Japan imposed sweeping austerity measures across all sectors of its economy. Transportation infrastructure was no exception. Stations that could be rationalized away were closed to redirect resources toward the war effort. Manseibashi, with its reduced passenger load, was an obvious candidate. In November 1943, the station closed. No ceremonies. No particular fanfare. The trains kept running on the tracks below, they still do, but the platforms fell silent. What happened next was, in its way, a small mercy. Rather than demolition, the building found a second life. As early as 1936, part of the old station structure had been converted into the Transportation Museum, a beloved institution that would eventually house vintage locomotives, early aircraft, and the full history of Japanese transport. Generations of Tokyo school children visited on field trips. The museum ran for 70 years, until 2006, when it closed and relocated to a new facility in Omiya, Saitama. And then the building sat again. Empty. The platforms sat. The original brickwork and stairs sat. The Chuo line trains kept thundering past, indifferent, carrying their passengers toward Tokyo Station. In 2013, the old Manseibashi viaduct was reborn not as a transport hub, but as a destination. The renovation, carried out with considerable care, preserved the red brick arches and, critically, restored the original 1912 platforms to public access. Today, as part of mAAch at Kanda Manseibashi, you can walk directly onto those platforms. There are cafe tables up there, wooden deck chairs, a small exhibition about the station's history tucked into one corner. The experience is genuinely hard to describe. You stand on a platform that was built before the First World War, on bricks laid by workers who lived through the Meiji era. And a modern JR Limited Express service slides past close, fast, filling the space for a moment with noise and motion, and then it's gone, and the platform is quiet again. There is no velvet rope. No museum label explaining what you're standing on. You just arrive, and either you know the history or you don't. The station doesn't insist on itself. The original entrance stairs, portions of the facade, the structural bones of Tatsuno's design, these survive, woven into the renovated building. Most visitors to Tokyo have never heard of Manseibashi. It doesn't appear in standard guidebooks. It generates no cues. And yet it's there, in the middle of one of the busiest urban areas on Earth, quietly asking nothing more than your attention. The story of Manseibashi is, in some ways, a comedy of timing. A station designed by the best architect in Japan, built in the right style for the right purpose and made irrelevant before it had a real chance to become itself. Not by failure. Not by disaster. Simply by the arrival, 2.5 years later, of something bigger. But there's something else worth sitting with. Tokyo is a city that destroys and rebuilds at extraordinary speed. Old neighborhoods vanish between visits. Whole districts transform within a decade. And yet here between the anime shops and the electronics stalls of Akihabara, a platform from 1912 is still standing. Not behind glass. Not in a museum. Standing, open, with trains running past it on the same tracks they've always run. Japan forgot Manseibashi. And then Japan found a way to let it keep existing anyway. If you're ever in Tokyo, go find it. You'll almost certainly have the platform to yourself. If you found this story interesting, subscribe to Lost Japan. There's a lot more where that came from. I'll see you in the next one.